Hey guys, I'm back. Like I said in the other video, this video is just going to be my top books of 2014. I wanted to do the top 14 of 2014, you know, because that's the thing right now. Last year, I read just some okay books. Like, they were just okay. Nothing too spectacular. A lot of disappointing books, because I DNF'd a few. Some of them, well, a lot of them I read. I think I read about like 10 short stories, but Goodreads still counts them. Anyway, guys, I got 10 here. 7 I believe I own. I don't know. If I don't own them, I'll put a picture of them. But I own a majority of them. Some of them I just borrowed from Overdrive. But since they're my top books, I'm planning. They're in no particular order except for my top 3. I don't know if I'm going to explain it. Like I said, I've done this video twice before, and I sucked both times. But I didn't have my trusty pal wine here, where I didn't really care. Stop texting me, friends. But, yeah, so I'm going to get right into it. Like I said, I'm going to have the last 3 are definitely at the top. Book 1 that I'm going to talk about is The Beautiful Bastards. And this is just book 1 in Christina Lauren, which I didn't know when I read this, but that is 2 people. They're beautiful series, and I believe each book is just going to follow different characters. And this particular book followed Chloe and Bennett, and Bennett is basically just her jackass boss. And she's supposed to hate him, basically. She's just doing this job because she's pretty good at what she does, and he's pretty much a jerk to her, and stuff happens. It's supposed to be a friends with benefit thing, but a little more, you know, feelings. I believe I gave this like a 4. No, I lie. I'm looking at it right now. I gave it a 5-star because I rate each book differently. Like, a 5-star for this book isn't technically a 5-star for another book, like one of my top books. But this was still a really good book, and I am excited to finish the rest of the series. The next book is Easy by Tamara Weber. You just heard me talk about I finally got Breakable, but this just follows Jacqueline and Lucas and all kind of stuff. She's leaving a party. Some guy that she knows basically tries to rape her. This awesomely handsome guy comes to her rescue and pretty much keeps her, you know.
Fuck me. See, this is why I suck at reviews. Like, who can't talk about a book they read? Like, who can't just thoroughly describe a book that they read? I mean, not even thoroughly, just give a little brief summary. Who can't do that, especially if it was a book that they enjoyed, right?
This is from her Contours of the Heart series, and this is just awesome. If you haven't read it, read it. I know that's saying something because I can't even tell you what the hell the book is about, but read it. The next book I'm going to talk about is Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Mostly picked up this book because it was Joe Hill. I found out that Stephen King had a son who wrote novels. I had yet to really read a Stephen King novel, but I wanted to read a Stephen King novel, and I wanted to read a novel by his son. I didn't really read the synopsis. I just saw Nosferatu and immediately thought vampires, and that's sort of like a buzzword for me. I'm usually really into vampire books. Usually. But this has nothing to do with vampires, and it has so much stuff going on. It's like not really contemporary. It's a murder mystery. Some aspects is contemporary, but then it also has this paranormal element to it, and it is just creepy as hell. It's not really a Christmas book, but one of the locations in the book is called Christmas Land, and it's just a extremely creepy take on Santa Claus and the North Pole and those cute little elves that we all love so much around Christmas time. It's nothing like that in this book. That's just how I'm gonna have to leave it, guys. Every time I try to explain it a little bit further, I suck. I suck at summarizing. We know this. I actually gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was some stuff that I didn't like. I'm not big on green and slut shaming and stuff like that, but I got it. You gotta get into the head of the man who does all this grotesque stuff and how he hates women. So like that was a little off putting, but again, it's a murder mystery paranormal type book, so it's kind of sort of to be expected in a psycho killer like Banks. Not Manx. Why did I say Banks? Like Manx. Manx. That's his name, right? Mr. Manx. Yeah, Mr. Manx. He's a little crazy. He's a lot of crazy. But definitely, guys, 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you have not read this, give it a go. It's a whopper, too. It's pretty big. I actually listened to it on audio. So that was, oh my goodness, that was even more interesting to listen to it on audio. So I'm probably going to get the audiobook on Audible as well if I can't find it at a library for like super cheap. But to read along and have an audio going, that made it even creepier. Next book I want to talk about is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I think I gave that a 4 out of 5 star, which is still means I really, really enjoyed it, but I can't quite put my finger on what I did not like about it, and my phone is taking forever to load. I took away a star because it's a standalone. That is the only reason I took down a star. I loved it. It was a vampire novel, like I said, buzzword for me. But it is a vampire novel, but it's not like your romantic vampire novels that you're used to. It's not like your Twilights. When I read other vampire novels, let me just say this, I want to be a part of that world. This one, I would think twice because I probably couldn't defend myself with these particular vampires because they're pretty ruthless. And it baffles me that some of these people in this world actually want to be around these particular vampires because they're cold. Tana, Gabrielle, love them, need more of them. Definitely is a 5 out of 5 for me, but it's a standalone and it kind of ended not necessarily open, but you got room to come back and she has room to make more books about Tana and Gabriel. Just to end to one of my favorite series, and that is Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And this is just the 5th and final installment of the Lux series. Oh my god, don't we look good together? Like, so good. Love Damon, love Katie, love this world, need more of it. I could do with a prequel, Jennifer. Like, you could just talk about the Luxon and Arum planets, I mean, long before they came to the Earth. Can I get a story about that? It could be a standalone. Or can I get some D in the other hottie? I won't say what hottie that is because a lot of people have not read this. Either the prequel or some D. Can I get it? Can we have it? Can we please? Like, I'm okay with not even learning or getting any more of Damon and Katie. But no, I don't even want or D or the prequel. Can I have them both? I need more about what actually all went down on the Luxon and Urim planets. Yeah, I need more. I need more. Of course, this was a 5 out of 5 star. While it did end pretty fluffily, like, it was still a good ending. So the next book is another Jennifer L. Armentrout series. It's another ending of a series that I love so very much, and that is Sentinel by, of course, Jennifer L. Armentrout. I just said that, right? But this is just the 5th and final installment of her Covenant series, and like I said in my most anticipated, this book, I think, pushed it over the top. Not I think, I know. It pushed it past the Lux series for me. I love this series. I had issues with the series in the beginning because some of the content, but I know I'm a little bit emotional at times. Things just rub me the wrong way. And while I did have issues with some of the content, I still believe I rated that book a 4.5 out of 5 stars for me to have as much of an issue with it. I still love the story. I love the series. Like, every book in this series got no less than a 4.5 star for me. Love it. But that, it can go the same for the Lux series. But I love this. Love this, love this, love this. This follows Alexandria and sexy Aiden and super hot asshole-ish Seth, and you just get so much going on. It's kind of has to do with Greek mythology, but she took and she spent and did her own little take on Greek mythology, and I actually really enjoy it. Although I still have a hard ass time describing a pure to somebody. Like, I know what a half blood is. A half blood is a pure, the offspring of a pure and a human, but the pure, is it a demigod and a demigod's have offspring, or is it a demigod and a human's offspring? If anybody has read this story, let me know what you guys think, because I've read Half-Blood so long ago I can't quite remember, but that's just what I have in my brain, that a pure blood is a demigod and maybe a human's offspring. I don't know. So they feel like they're more closer to the gods than the Half-Bloods are, so they kind of sort of rule the Half-Bloods. So yeah, it's sort of Vampire Academy-esque. The first book, I've only read the first book of Vampire Academy, but from the people who've read the entire Vampire Academy series, they say it takes a big turn in the second book. All I can say is I love this series. So definitely 2 thumbs up. The Covenant series. The next book is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. However you guys pronounce it, it's by her. That is the 3rd Gillian Flynn novel that I wrote. I wish I wrote that novel. But that is the 3rd Gillian Flynn novel that I read. I think she's only has 3 novels. But to me, this is my favorite. I think I did rate it lower than Gone Girl. I actually enjoyed the story a lot more than I did with Gone Girl. That's not to say that I didn't love Gone Girl, because I love Gone Girl. I raved about that book for like 2 years straight to everybody who would listen. But yeah, just yeah. Gillian is screwed up. I need more Gillian in my life. I need her to write more books. One of the 3 books that are at the top of my top books of 2014 is a book that punched me all up in the feels. Like, just had me ugly crying. It was Hopeless. I read it in one night. Well, most of it in one night. I was at work on a midnight shift, and when it got to the point, to the climax, when I felt that I just was not going to be able to control my tears, I had to cut my Kindle off. And I'm glad I did, because when I got home and I got comfortable and in bed to finish that story, I cried and cried and sobbed and cried. And I have Losing Hope, and I have not read the synopsis, so I don't know if it takes off where Hopeless ended, or if it's just Hopeless told and the male protagonist, I forget the names, forgive me, but I don't know if it's just Hopeless told over in his point of view. Either way it go, I don't mind reading that, because oh my god, it was just so much going on. It would be good to get his perspective on things. The next book I actually bought it, and that is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. It's inspired by Siobhan Dowd. I believe this Siobhan person, I don't know, I always say Siobhan. I think it could be pronounced either Siobhan or Siobhan. Either way, I think that person passed, and I think Patrick Ness pretty much just took her idea and turned it into this awesomeness. And it is illustrated by Jim Kay, and he has some pretty creepy illustrations. I'm just gonna show you. Yeah, this is actually like a middle grade book, so while I probably wouldn't creep out most middle grade kids this year, it would have creeped my ass out in the 90s. But this is a really good story. It's another story that punched me all up in the feels. The monster showed up after midnight, as they do. But it isn't the monster Connor's been expecting. The one from the nightmare he's had nearly every night since his mother started her treatments. The one with the darkness and the wind and the screaming. This monster is something different, something ancient, something wild, and it wants the truth. Sums up the book, right? And it's so mysterious, but I wanted to read it, so yeah. If you guys aren't interested in reading that after I read the synopsis, something wrong with you. The last and final book. I believe I talked about this on this channel. I updated Goodreads so much that my friend texted me, was like, she's killing you. She putting you through it while you read this story. And that is the truth. That is Sticks by Sherilyn Kenyon. This is book 200 in her Dark Hunter series. I think it's actually 23. It's a lot of them. I will say that. But she writes them all to be technically standalones. And I say whenever I tell anybody if you're going to read anything and you're going to read something in order, you most definitely have to read Asheron's story first, because they coincide, they go hand in hand. But read Asheron's story first, because Asheron is Styx's twin brother, and basically through most of all of the Dark Hunter series, Styx is the devil incarnate. He is the ultimate bad guy. No, not really. Pretty damn close to one of the bad guys through most of the series. And in this story, she redeemed the hell out of Styx. She made me at one point dislike Asheron, and that's hard to do because Asheron is one of my top book boyfriends. I did not want to reread Asheron's story because a lot of the stuff that she has going on there, a lot of torturing, a lot of raping, a lot of just brutal stuff went on in Asheron's book, and I was cringing while I was reading it. It was a really good story, and that same stuff happened here, but this book makes me want to reread Asheron's story, because Asheron was just a little bit too selfish. Once you read this, you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, as I'm doing this book no justice as I talk about it, this is phenomenal. I didn't know how to control my feels. I tossed this book on the floor. My dust jacket wasn't on it, but I threw this book across the room. I slammed this book down. I cursed Sherilyn Kenyon out. And at the end of it all, oh my god, I love her so much for this story. So, yeah, guys, definitely my top book of 2014. I'm gonna go, because if not, I'm just gonna keep rambling. And it's getting pretty late, and I'm hungry. And so, yeah, these are my top books. And sorry my summaries pretty much sucked. I'm gonna get better one day. Comment your favorite books down below of 2014. Comment and let me know if you read any of the books that I've mentioned. I plan on having a better reading year 2015 than I did 2014, because I took all the pressure off for 2015. So I know I'm going to have a lot of books to talk about in my top books of 2015 next year. So yeah, I'm going to finish my Shiraz off, and I'm going to go eat some spaghetti, some vegan spaghetti, and I will see you guys in another video.